Alrighty, got ourselves a replay here from Sir Groot and Normal Swamp, High Elves, and the Vampire Coast. Kind of one of the original Grudge matches, not in the lore, but in the game. I do tend to see it a lot over the course of Warhammer 2 and 3. These two have just always been opposed, where it's like the meta kind of keeps shifting back and forth. You know, Vampire Coast will take a whole bunch of bats and try to kite around, and then the High Elves will counter that with a lot more archers, and then when they're taking a lot of archers, the Coast will take a lot of mortars, and when they take a lot of mortars, the High Elves take a bunch of bolt throwers and light cav. It's very fluctuating. So, these two factions always seem to fight each other. We have 5 pistol mobs, 5 sirens, 4 animated hulks, 2 depth guard with pole arms, and Count Noctilus with Melkos Mystifying Miasma and Invocation of Nahak. On the other side, for the High Elves, we have 2 Dragon Princes, looks like 2 Laren Reavers, 2 Silver Helms with shields, Archmage of Metal with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom, an Archmage of Life with just Regrowth, and then her Winds of Magic regeneration spell. 3 archers, 4 rangers. One of the archers is the Talons of Tor Kaleda, the fire damage, fire weakness imbuing archers, which will help out the Dragon Princes a little bit. I think just the Fireborn. Okay, just the Fireborn do fire damage, but still, it's nice. Cavalry getting a few free charges off, just doing some poke damage to the Vampire Coast, doing what they can. Big charge coming in from the Dragon Princes. While the Sirens do have 55% physical resist for being ghosts, I mean, they'll still take a lot of damage on a charge just because of that 0 armor and 32 melee defense. It's not a lot compared to the Dragon Prince's stats. That charge did a lot less damage than I thought until they started swinging, but like the actual impact damage was rather muted for some reason. So far, the High Elves are rolling over the Vampire Coast backline. Just a lot of good charging, really drawing them out. But the Sirens are slowly catching up to the Archers, being a nuisance. They have fought the Rangers at last. Now, the Rangers should actually trade okay into the Sirens. They won't win it, but they'll trade well considering the cost differentials. And the Fireborn continuing to fight with animated hulks. Their anti-large will help them a lot here, so they're gonna truck through these fools. A bunch of pistol mobs are dying. And after the crumbling nerfs, like the crumbling after the last changes to how the undead work, I really do like where they are right now. I feel like fighting undead is very satisfying. I feel like fighting as undead is pretty satisfying. I don't know. I just could take a moment and appreciate something not being either too good or too bad. I think all 3 undead are in a pretty decent spot. They're playable, but I personally don't mind fighting them. Like, Tomb Kings are very popular, and it's pretty whatever. It's like, alright, yeah, if someone wants to play Tomb Kings, it's cool. It's fine. And then when I want to play Tomb Kings, it's not like this faction's dog shit. It's just fine. Anyway, the push for the Vampire Coast is going on. The balance of power is strangely centered, even though it feels like the High Elves are kicking tons of ass. Like, a lot of the undead units aren't looking so hot. Most of their pistols have died a horrible death. I suppose the pistols are only 300 gold, though, so it's like a clan rat dying. No one really care. Sirens are pushing these archers right to the edge of the map, and they're starting to get terror routes and natural routes to come in, so I think both of these archers are actually going to die. Which is pretty brutal for the High Elves. Once again, not the most expensive unit in the world, but it's something. More Sirens catching these guys. And do they have a slow? It's hard to tell, because most ethereal units have Frostbite. But these guys, they have magic and charmed, so it's hard to tell. Something slowed down the archers over here. Looks like they don't. Anyway, the archer's still getting run off the field. The last one is upset. Meanwhile, in the backfield, Laren Reavers and Dragon Princes absolutely cleaning shop on all of the Vampire Coast units that were left behind. A Melkos Mystifying Miasma onto Laren Reavers. It's going to do some good damage, but it's not the worst thing in the world for that light cab to be taking the damage. So meanwhile, Silver Helms and Rangers and more Dragon Princes continue to fight animated hulks. The Coast have kind of been drawn all over the map. They have one area of pressure over here where they're doing well, where some depth guard and a whole bunch of Sirens routed off more and more archers. But anything they left behind got picked off immediately. These animated hulks are in trouble. Everything over there is straight up dead. It's not a good time. Did I hear an overcast invocation hack or just an undercast? What did you heal, you bastard? There it is. It's an undercast on just that Siren. Little fast forwarding as the Sirens chase those archers and the cav in the distance finish up on anything they caught out. Meanwhile, the Coast have a little enclave next to the White Line where they are going to fight to the death, and that was risky. Archmage of Metal just lands in for a quick charge, but then runs away in a very bold move, while Dragon Princes run down Sirens while they are regrowthed up. Silverhelm's sighting up another charge. Melkoths will slow them down and do some damage, and then you have a counter charge here from the Depth Guard with polearms, so we'll see how much damage the Silverhelms take. They have to get out of there, and that was probably not worth it for them, though it looked fine at first until the Melkoths came in, and then it got real scary. So it is a bunch of High Elf cavalry and both their casters versus a lot of Sirens, and the 2 Depth Guard are actually going to be the scariest part. Noctilus is still throwing out summons. How many does he have left? 1 on the moon dial, 3 from Winds of Magic. The pistols are going to be firing up at the Archmage of Metal, doing a good little bit of damage to her, as we do get more Cav cycling in. Cav runs in, does a bit of damage. Searing Doom also does some more damage. And the Cav terror out or just run away, but another nice Melkoths onto the Dragonborn. The Fireborn. Why am I doing that? They're not goddamn Skyrim. They are the Fireborn, Dragon Princes, and Total Warhammer. Not everything's about you, Skyrim. Anyway, all 3 Sirens are crumbling at the moment. There's actually a 4th that I forgot about. That one's fine. It's receiving an invocation hack. That zombie summon got instantly murdered by the Fireborn. But both Depth Guard are still very scary. Noctilus himself is very scary, and he overcasts to get another pistol summon out. We'll see what little poke it can do. It looks like it's probably going to fire at the Archmage again. Yeah, and as soon as they're summoned, they start firing because they have Firewall moving. So it's pretty good. Plague of Rust overcast onto the Depth Guard with polearms, giving them only 30 armors. They get rear charged by Dragon Princes, so they don't have their charge defense or charge reflection. And without heavy armor, they actually will take a really good amount of damage from those Dragon Princes, so I like that a lot. That was a good play. Searing Doom. Ooh, Searing Doom, Friendly Fire, plus the Melkoths really fucking up the Fireborn. And another charge in on the still Plague of Rusted Depth Guard. Almost, that unit was like full health when this Plague of Rust started. That was a very effective use of that spell. But elsewhere, things have gone actually rather poorly for the High Elves. 2 more summons are out from Noctilus, meaning he has 2 left. 2 total. Siren is almost heal capped. There's a still very healthy Depth Guard. Another Depth Guard that's almost dead. Noctilus is full health, and those 2 are summoned, so we don't care as much about them. A regrowth is coming in for the Fireborn as they charge into unbraced Depth Guard and Sirens. But man, they're taking a hell of a trade, and a Melkoths onto them, and their terror out takes them forwards instead of backwards, leading them right off the map. I wonder if the Fireborn just go all the way off at this point. Meanwhile, the big Cavs surround to really get these guys crumbling, and there we go. The Depth Guard are gone. The Fireborn do go off the map with a regrowth still active, which is brutal. And the Eagle caster is diving in for now. Noctilus sights her up, gets a big shot onto her. And she needs to get out of there or get a regrowth or healing or something, but she takes another shot. She's trying to get out. She terror outs even and dies. She flat out dies. And that causes some rangers to shatter. We have Dragon Princes, Lyran Reavers, Silverhelms, and Silverhelms, and a Life Caster with just regrowth. For the coast, though, these 2 summons will eventually fade away. And then that leaves a full health Noctilus and some very injured permanent infantry. And Noctilus still has 2 summons, but I don't know if he has the Winds of Magic for him. He has been spamming out Melkoths and using Invocations of the Hex, so he might not just have the mana for them. Depth Guard are slowly crumbling while fighting this Mage of Life. Cavalry charge back in, take another big chunk off the Sirens, but the bounce power keeps getting worse and worse for the High Elves. The Depth Guard have rallied at this point. And they have some natural healing through the Hunger, so if Noctilus has any healing for them whatsoever, or they can just regen up, maybe they'll be okay. Maybe. Though, it looks like those Depth Guard are beyond saving as they get down to the negative 30s for stats. Noctilus is getting charged on all sides by Lyran Reavers and stuff at this point. Silverhelms continue to do battle, not backing off, which probably means they're taking a lot more damage than they need to, but they are really trying to clean up these Depth Guard and leave Noctilus all alone. The Silverhelms receive a regrowth, or what did? What regrowth there? It's the Dragon Princes. Alright, Dragon Princes regrowth. Depth Guard still technically alive, but they're pretty much fucking dead. 4 models on them? Yeah, they're not going to matter. Bounce power's back to half, and Noctilus is surrounded, getting beat up by all these cavalry who are trying to refresh their charge bonuses. And they do rout, but both the Silverhelms and these Lyran Reavers rally just on the edge of the map, so they come back. And once again, the charge is in onto Noctilus. Bounce power is about dead even, playing on ×2 speed, as they are going to keep cycle charging this little guy. He's getting lower and lower. He does not have the hunger, so he has no natural healing. He needs Invocation to Heck is the only possible he can get. As these Silver Helms get another regrowth, they charge back in. One of the cavalry has shattered off the map, but Noctilus, without the hunger, without any way of healing himself, does eventually just get whittled down. GG. For normal Swamp, that was a very fun build to watch. I always like really wide battles with taking up the whole map, and that was certainly one of them. Cavalry got really good value overall. Archers just got run down, so didn't get too much done. The Rangers did fine. For Sir Groot, Noctilus got a ton of value. Depth Guard also did fine. Sirens, mixed, but overall fine, I guess. Animated Hulks, not so good. And the Pistol Mobs, not amazing, but fine. GG. Roar! Subscribe, yes, yes.